Welcome everybody to Corvallis, Oregon. Beautiful day today, culminating in a college basketball game here at the Gill Coliseum. The Washington Huskies and the Oregon State Beavers. Along with Lamar Hurd, Kevin Calabro, and joining us courtside now, Jen Mueller. Hello, Jen.
Hey, Kevin. You know, if the Dogs can win today, it would be just the 7th time they've swept their Oregon rivals on the road. The Dogs coming off that win Thursday night at McCourt. And in talking to head coach Lorenzo Romar today, he said, you know, I know that win improves their record, but it also does wonders for his team's confidence because they know that they can win in a hostile environment on the road. They know that they'll be able to win in close games, whether that's today's game or in the future. Now, when you talk about Oregon State, most fans cannot resist the connection between head coach Craig Robinson and Barack Obama. They, of course, are brothers-in-law, and it's a big week ahead for both of them. Craig Robinson will practice with the team tomorrow before traveling to Washington, D.C. Monday to take part in some of the inaugural celebrations. He'll rejoin the team Wednesday when they get ready to play Cal, all while just missing one practice. It is a schedule that he got used to during election season when he was helping Barack out. And if there's anybody who can handle the pressure and the stress of that kind of schedule and get his team ready to go today, guys, it is Craig Robinson. I guarantee you his team is ready.
Well, it was certainly exciting today, Lamar, to see the train leave from Philadelphia and head into Washington, D.C. with the new president-elect Barack Obama on board with family.
It was. I know Craig Robinson was excited to see it. So.
Take a look at the lineup. John Brockman, Quincy Pondexter, Darnell Gant, Isaiah Thomas, and Justin Dentman. Rulon Shaftanar, the big man, the 7-footer in the middle. Daniel Dean, along with Omari Johnson. And the guards are Sean Tarver. Actually, that's his older brother. This is Seth Tarver, the 6'5 junior from Portland, and Ricky Klatt, the senior from Orlando, Florida. Sean Tarver, his older brother, played for UCLA. We were talking about him earlier tonight, back in the day. All right, the tip is directed into backcourt, and this will be Oregon State basketball. The Beavers average 59 points per ball game. They are 9th in the Pac-10. They are 29th, average 29 rebounds a game. That is 10th in the Pac-10 as well.
And already, Kev, to open up the game, you see UW applying pressure, forcing Oregon State 30, 40 feet from the basket. It's going to be interesting to see how they respond to the pressure.
Seth Tarver, certainly a weapon. Shaftanar is a guy that can handle it 7 feet and shoot threes. Out of the corner, raising for three is Seth Tarver. Rebound Brockman, the outlet to Pondexter, up the floor. Did not have numbers, tried to force his way inside. Contact made, and this will work against the defensive player, Ricky Klatt.
And this is exactly what Coach Robinson doesn't want. He doesn't want his team getting into a running match with UW. He knows that they have the athletes. He really wants Oregon State to slow it down on the offensive and defensive end.
And congratulations, by the way, to John Brockman. He grabs another rebound. That's now 1,055. He is the University of Washington's all-time leading rebounder. And that is some kind of milestone.
And it is, believe me, there's going to be a lot of separation between him and whoever's second place before he's all said and done with it.
That would be Dr. Doug Smart, who's recovering from hip surgery. We wish him well. Dennis up in the Orcas Island. Ricky Klatt will bring it across. Lathan Wallace is a 6'3 sophomore from Portland. And handling the ball is Daniel Dean. You can see them extend the defense, and Gant is all over Shaftanar. Here's Wallace driving right side, throws an air ball on the run, and there is Brockman in the middle of the scrum to grab the rebound. Thomas, front court right, Dentman will trigger the three. Brockman, the tip follow off the rim and out of bounds. And it will be Beaver basketball.
And that's UW basketball. That's what we talked about. If they don't make the first shot, they're going to crash the rebounds hard. And you see John Brockman, that's the last guy you want to let loose. Somebody's got to put a body on him.
Lamar, the significance of Gant's pressure on Shaftanar, denying him the basketball. Let's talk about that because he's a real key tonight.
Well, what that does is it takes Oregon State out of their offense because their offense is predicated on what Rulon Shaftanar does at the top of the key. That's how the Princeton offense works. The big guy starts and initiates everything. So if Shaftanar is taken out, it's going to be a long night for Oregon State.
So that big man has to be able to handle. He has to be able to pass, and he's got to hit a perimeter.
Hey, to sum it up, his game's got to be right, Kevin. You know, he's got to be able to play the whole game, which Rulon is capable of doing.
At 18 against UNC, and busted a 3 as time was expiring in regulation to get him into overtime.
Yeah. And
they eventually beat the Trojans. How nice was that to snap the 22-game Pac-10 losing streak?
Hey, it was nice. I had front row seats to that one, so I was happy.
Schaftenauer defended on the inbound, and a foul to Gant. Now, Matthew Bryan Ammoning will figure in this game as well. If Gant particularly if Gant gets into early foul trouble, because Bryan Ammoning is 6'9", has long, long arms. Here's Tarver with it now. Jesuit High School in Portland. Schaftenauer from the Netherlands. Family still lives there. Backs in. Nice handle. But when you bring it down to Detman, he'll rip it outside to Dean. 19 to shoot. There it is.
And what you saw there, Kev, was Oregon State score off a breakdown of their offense. And that's sometimes what you got to do to beat the University of Washington. They do a great job taking you out of your offense. Sometimes you just got to make plays.
Brockman with it. Throws over the top of the zone. Pondexter on the post. Lays it in.
Great pass by Brockman. He draws so much attention, and now he's doing a good job finding his teammates.
Quincy having a nice year this year. 4th on the team in scoring at nearly 10 a game. Daniel Dean handling from Park City, Utah. 6'8", 245. Tarver with it. Oregon State very patient. And you have to be in this type of offense. We were talking to Lorenzo Romar about that earlier tonight. He says if they can get that first cut, they'll take it. Otherwise, they're going to move that ball around rapidly. You will see a lot of dribbling in this type of offense. And they are very good perimeter shooters. And Daniel Dean knocks down the 3.
Well, Daniel Dean's a guy that Oregon State fans have been waiting for to kind of erupt. He started off the season pretty well, kind of fell asleep on us. Now he's doing a good job coming back alive.
There's a long-range offering off the mark. And the rebound tipped and controlled by Ricky Klatt. A dangerous game for the Huskies. Why? Well, the triple overtime loss against Cal certainly was disheartening, but they bounced back to beat the Ducks soundly on Thursday. Here are the Beavers, and this is a different Beaver ball club as they go low with Schaftenauer to lay it up and in. It would be easy, Lamar, for the Huskies to look ahead to Thursday when they come back home against USC and then meet USCLA on Saturday. And particularly so when you look at that scoreboard and you see Arizona State winning over UCLA today in overtime. So the Pac-10 is wide open. It is up for grabs.
It is wide open, and it would be very easy for UW to kind of overlook Oregon State. But UW wants to be one of those elite level teams, and they understand to be that, they got to take every game as serious as every other one.
Wallace across the end line, tipped away. An alert Tarver will grab it. Triggering the 3 deep in the well was Wallace popped out. Dentman will take it up the floor. Beavers up 8-4 here early. Isaiah Thomas, the fine freshman. Leading scorer in the Pac-10 as a freshman. The leading freshman scorer in the Pac-10 at Curtis High School in Tacoma. Here's Dentman. And hands applied and a foul up top. And this will, I think, be ticketed to Ricky Klatt. It would be the second on Klatt, if so. Timeout called on the floor. 15:37 left to play in the first half, and it's the Beavers leading early. Welcome back to Corvallis, along with Lamar Hurt, Kevin Calabro on hand. The Beavers out on top, 8-4. And the foul charged to Ricky Klatt is his second, and so that will force Craig Robinson, Lamar, to substitute here quickly with 15:37 left in the half.
And that's certainly not what he wants. You know, their bench is already thin as is. Ricky's got to do a little better job moving his feet. The UW guards are pretty quick, though.
And Vanoy Overton checks in now to get Isaiah Thomas teamed with Dentman. Corvallis, tough place to play, even in the down years. Loud crowd, very energized. Pondexter takes it to the rim. As once again, Washington attacks the underside of that zone, Lamar.
Well, in the open, as we talked about, Kevin, Oregon State has to do a good job being disciplined in that zone. So guys have to help the helpers. If one person helps a guy whose man got beat, the other weak side guy has to rotate over and help a man. Like I said, these are going to result in dunks. You know, this isn't Seattle U or some of those teams the Beavs have played early on, so they got to really be disciplined.
Beavers have posted a 6-9 record. Pondexter with a free throw up and in. And then follows the inbounds and got a piece. Seth Tarver will bring it across midcourt. Wallace, good size. Lathan Wallace, 6'3", 200-pound guard. Schaftenauer trying to feed inside and a holding foul off the ball.
And that time the Beavs were able to get a pass to the inside because they're finally able to get the ball to Ruland Schaftenauer. Darnell Gant has been doing a good job stopping him from getting the ball at the top of the key until that play there.
Tarver inbounds, Wallace with it. Dean, who's hit a 3 already. Schaftenauer with size inside. Matthew Bryan Ammoning in the lineup now. Running the inline and a big collision. Down goes Pondexter, and down goes Dean, and the foul will go against Dean for the charge.
Well, you don't like the charge, but you like the aggression shown by Daniel Dean taking that mano-a-mano matchup against John Brockman and not backing down.
A couple of large loads in there, 6'8", 245. You were comparing Dean a lot to Brockman in the way he approaches the game.
Well, he's kind of Oregon State's Brockman. He's that physical guy. And did you see him before he cut the hair?
I did not.
I mean, you can just look at him and he looked like a tough guy.
Overton crowded in the corner to Pondexter. Oregon State recovers. Dentman for 3. That's the way to bust a zone. Pondexter the rebound. Button ripped away when he brought it down into the hands of Josh Tarver. Dentman recovers to get a deflection out of bounds. And the Beavers will take it, leading by 2.
Omari Johnson checking in.
Omari Johnson will step in now. For Daniel Dean. Johnson 6'7", 205 from Dorsey High School in Los Angeles. Josh Tarver to his brother Seth. Johnson holding. 21 to shoot. Beavers very patient, and that probably accounts for the fact that they score 59 a game. Here's Johnson knocking down the mid-range jump shot.
That's a good job of Oregon State to kind of improvise. Again, Darnell Gant's doing a good job eliminating Ruland Schaftenauer, and the Beavers are doing a good job making plays.
Overton cross court to Dentman. Overton again crowded on the edge of that zone. Brockman straightaway Jay got it.
And if John Brockman makes that shot, it's going to be a long night for Oregon State because the middle is where you want to beat the zone. And if he's making that, then, you know, it's a long night for Oregon State.
Brockman was ineffectual in the first half against Washington State at Pullman, but came alive in the second half with that very same mid-range jump shot. And that really loosened the game up. Yeah, I mean, it changed the game.
He was just fronting early on in that game. Didn't want to give him too much. He was waiting until it was winning time.
Laying in the weeds. I got it.
But yeah, John, I mean, he's a guy. He's just a beast down low, and everybody knows that. And so once this guy starts stepping out and hitting shots, he's virtually unstoppable.
All right, let's set the Husky lineup now as Justin Holiday steps into the lineup. Isaiah Thomas back in the lineup with Darnell Gant. Matthew Bryan Ammoning out there, and Vanoy Overton. Bryan Ammoning up top. Isaiah Thomas crowding the ball. That's Tarver to Johnson. 16 to shoot. Good movement of the ball. The post up and the rejection. Gant inside with a better defensive play. And apparently it came down off of Tarver and out of bounds.
Hey, Gant let Josh Tarver know, hey, you don't have a lot of time down here when I'm around. Josh has to do a better job. And Josh is a very explosive guard. He can go up and he could dunk that ball if he wants to. So that may be what he has to do next time.
Quick reactions. Thomas. Holiday in the corner. Spread the floor. Thomas through the zone, tipped away from behind. Seth Tarver got a piece of it, and now the Beavers in control. Schaftenauer swings the hook up and in.
And that play was enabled because UW is doing such a terrific job extending their pressure. All the driving and passing lanes are open.
go to the corner, drop down to the ball. That's Matthew Bryan Ammoning outside to Holiday. He'll trigger. Tipped up and in. It looked like Schaftenauer got a hand on it. And they will give it to Matthew Bryan Ammoning.
I told you, if these guys don't score on the first time, they're going to rebound it and score somehow anyway. That's why they're leading the conference in both categories.
3 offensive rebounds so far for the Huskies. And they lead the nation in rebound percentage, just shy of 11 a game. Tarver left side. Johnson triggers the 3. Thomas goes up, but it rolled out off of him and out of bounds. He and Overton both there at the ball. The Mighty Mites. Thomas, along with Dentman and Overton, have done a great job of adapting and rotating. Overton was a starter for 26 games last year, and the sophomores done a terrific job accepting a roll off the bench.
Well, that shows his leadership abilities. You know, it's very easy for a player who's starting to go sit on the bench and start pouting, but credit Vanoy for being a leader on the bench and coming in the game and providing a spark.
Strong move on the rocket spin. Seth Tarver. That was a great play, getting to the post, using the 6'5" frame to elevate.
Well, and that's what you want to see from Seth Tarver. He's a guy who can fade away very easily. You want to see him come out and start and be aggressive, and that's exactly what he's doing. And look at his body.
Yeah.
Kevin, the kid can get any shot he wants in the paint, wherever he wants, so you want to see him being aggressive.
UW's 5th team foul. Oregon State with 4. And a 3-point play. And now pressure applied by the Beavers. Going to try to trap Overton at the edge. Coming to the middle is Thomas. Quick ball movement. Beavers by 5, 15-10. Elston Turner back in the lineup. The freshman from near Houston, Texas. He's been out since spraining an ankle the first minute of play he got in against Morgan State some time ago. First Pac-10 play for him. The cross-court pass picked off. Tarver the other way. And the
Again, there's Seth. Like I said, he can get any shot he wants. He just bumps Isaiah Thomas down, says, "You're too small for me."
Huskies want to get out and roll, and Oregon State has made it a half-court game right now. And Holiday pivots into Haynes, and a foul called on the Beavers. Oregon State with 3 steals here early, and they stake a 7-point lead as we go to timeout with 11:20 remaining in the first half from Corvallis. Beavers have taken control of the pace of this game. As a result, they lead by 7, 17-10. And this has been a very disciplined Beaver defense, packing it in, going to the zone.
That's exactly what we talked about. Discipline. That's the key to this 1-3-1 zone. You see, you got your guy up top as your 1. We got our 3 guys across the middle, 1 guy in the back. Once the ball is swung, everybody has to rotate and get to their correct position. We see UW get the ball to the middles where you want to get it against the zone. Okay, we freeze it here. We have a guy here guarding the ball. Josh Tarver is here, but he'll release back, and this is where it's very important, that weak side guard. Calvin Haynes has to be there, because on a 1-3-1 zone, the way you beat it is diagonal passes across the top or from corner to across the top. So as long as Oregon State does a good job continuing to rotate, they'll be fine. Ball gets reversed back up, you're right back in your 1-3-1 to start out with.
And you want to make that pass as long as you possibly can, because the pass in the air can be picked off.
Exactly.
And they've done a great job of that so far.
And now UW's is going to have to attack. One of these guards is going to have to get into the lane, drive, draw, and kick.
Turner in line, outside to Overton. Beavers are quick and long, and they've got some bounce tonight. They really are energized. Turner, the fadeaway from 3. Matthew Bryan Ammoning the rebound. 1 dribble up on Hampton. Got into the chest of the 6'8" big man and scored.
And that's UW's bread and butter. If we don't make it the first time, we'll make it the second or third. Oregon State has to do a good job rebounding out of that zone. Though it's tough, you got to find a body on somebody.
Early shooting, Huskies 3 for 10. Oregon State 7 of 13 from the field. Hampton's a load from Fort Washington, Maryland. 6'10" and 250. On a botched exchange, tipped away, they say, off of the hands of the Huskies and out of bounds.
UW, again, they do such a great job. Ammonine, Brockman, no matter who's in there, they will fight. They're relentless on the boards. and that's why they're leading the conference. We see Roland Shaftenar coming back in, and I figured that would happen because last play we had Calvin Hampton handling the ball at the top of the key, and I'm not sure that's what Craig Robinson wants.
Dean is back as well. He's hit a 3 already, and he's in there banging with Brockman. Shaftenar, 3 to shoot. Nice back cut by Tarver, but it was underthrown. Dentman with it. Dentman, they're going to let him come in deep, and he'll score it. As for some reason, the Beavers just dropped back. They didn't come to the ball.
Well, do you see number 40 on the court? That guy's going to attract 2 or 3 people. Everybody was afraid of the drop-off, so Justin Dentman did a good job shooting the jumper.
Dragged him down. Here's Shaftenar with it on the post. Turns and twists. Nice touch. In and out. Malloy with a push to Dentman. But this time the Beavers get back. Turner, a deep 3. Matthew Bryant having the rebound, and the bank hook up and in. Oh, it is on if he's hitting that.
It is, and Craig Robinson is going to have to make a decision. If his guys don't start finding bodies and boxing out, they may have to try out a man-to-man, maybe go back to the 1-3-1. That last possession, it was a 2-3. Didn't work out well for him.
Shaftenar with it, out beyond the 3-point perimeter. Beavers on top by 1. On the handoff to Haynes, Overton reaches in, and a foul.
You know, it's tough, Kevin, anytime you're playing a zone defense to find a guy to box out, especially when you're playing the best team in the conference at doing it. But the Beavs are going to have to do a good job just going, flying at bodies, being physical, and going and getting the ball.
Dean fakes the 3. Brockman gets out on him. Haynes actually leads his team in scoring at 15 a game in the 9 appearances. Dean has his progress impeded by Matthew Bryant Ammoning and a foul on the big man. The sophomore from London, England is tagged with his first foul, team foul number 7. And so Dean will head to the line.
And if you're Lorenzo Romar, you probably don't mind that foul too much just because your team is starting to pick up their intensity. They're starting to move around a little bit more, playing UW defense.
Yeah, after that timeout, they really got after it.
I'm sure Lorenzo has some words for him.
I think so.
Got a little fire under him.
Dean at the line, drills this one. Every Monday night, relive your all-time favorite Mariners games from seasons past on Mariners Mondays. This week, we go back to 2007 as Felix Hernandez takes the mound against Daisuke Manny Ramirez of the Boston Red Sox. Mariners, Mondays at 7:30 on FSN. Beavers by 3, 8:45 to go first half. Diagonal pass to Thomas. That's the pass Lamar was just talking about, that diagonal pass. It's a skip pass. Inside, Brockman spins, but he walked. That's a good call. Third turnover on the Huskies.
Kev, have you ever seen the movie Friday?
I've seen the movie Wednesday.
I'll tell you, it's movie Friday, and there's a guy named Debo. John Brockman is Debo out here for UW. He's Debo.
We're going to have you break that movie down at halftime.
I got you.
We'll get a chance.
I got you.
Here's Dean with it. Because I'm in suspense. I know everybody else is. Beavers by 3. Inside Haynes. The lefty raises. Good board on the weak side. But Dean couldn't hold it. Brockman chips away at it. Matthew Bryant Ammoning the other way. Denton, deft touch. Gets by Wallace. Feeds to IT. Squares a 3. Missed it. And a foul is, again, Matthew Bryant Ammoning is in the mixer down low. Averaging 6 boards a game over the last 10. He's been on a nice roll. Timeout on the deck. It's the Beavers 19, Huskies 16. Send it down to Jen Mueller standing by on the court.
Kevin, you just mentioned Matthew Bryant Ammoning being so active inside. He gets kudos coming over to the bench from assistant coach Paul Fortier, but also they warn the big guys about how they're using their hands inside. So Lamar, what kind of things do they need to do to stay active but not get into foul trouble there with reaching in?
Well, the Beavers are, somebody's going to have to take on the assignment to personally go and find Ammoning and Brockman and those guys who are grabbing rebounds. Sometimes when you're facing a very good offensive rebounder, you just got to face guard him so that he doesn't touch the ball and allow maybe one of your other teammates to get the rebound. So that may be what the Beavers have to resort to here.
A margin in rebounding of nearly 11 a game for the Huskies, #1 in the country. That is our Les Schwab league leader. Here's Denton. And Pondexter, joined by Matthew Bryan Ammoning. Brockman and Thomas complete the 5. Detman, nice slash. Great setup to Brockman for the reverse, sweeping up and in. Good guard play.
Great guard play. Good job by Justin Detman. Noticing it was a 2-3 zone, not the 1-3-1. Getting UW in their zone offense, attacking.
Good game here early, 19-18. Beavers in Corvallis, 7:20 to play first half. Johnson looked at a 3, but Brockman closes out. Schaftenauer, 6-11. Left side to Baines. Nope. Tipped and up for grabs. Again, the Huskies win the battle on the boards. At the last time out, they had a 10-5 rebounding advantage. Detman the show, the go, the leap and leaner up and in.
Great up fake by Justin Detman. And you got to respect that range because he can make that shot. So good job by Justin getting into the paint.
Haynes with it. Tarver, Schaftenauer out there with Johnson and this man Wallace.
Latham Wallace is a guy who's been playing very well the last couple of games. They need him to get going right now. But credit UW, because the last few plays, you can see Oregon State a little discombobulated on the offensive end.
And they end up with a 3 from Wallace with 5 to shoot. So Wallace gets a big bucket for the Beavers to maintain the lead, 22-20.
Well, Latham's been doing that the last couple games. He's always had the ability to. Read an article about him about how he's feeling more comfortable, you know, knowing what Craig Robinson wants in this offense.
Wallace, the sophomore from Portland. Denton. Skip pass to Pondexter. And he picks up the dribble and trap. Cross-court pass barely picked up. Denton now has numbers. 13 to shoot. Ammoning dumps it to Brockman. Man, he's got a vice-like grip on the rock. He twists it away from the defenders, and a foul is called inside. And he is so strong, and he sends a guy like Wallace, who's a compact 6'3" and 210, sprawling.
See, that's Debo. That's exactly what I was talking about. John Brockman, he's just a terror under the basket. Sometimes you got to send 2 guys to box him out and keep him away from the basket. Just rips it away from him. You know, just says, I'm stronger than him.
John Brockman at the line for the Huskies.
Big John, after that terrific rebounding performance, has achieved a career high twice this year of 18 rebounds. Free throw shooting, of course, has been a difficult experience for him. And as a team sometimes, the Huskies shooting 64%, but Brockman made it look easy that time. Comes into the game tonight at 53%. 22-22 count, 5:43 to play in the first half. #1 team in the country got beat today. Louisville defeats Pitt. Beat them by 3. And the Ville shoots 29% on their own court in the first half.
You're not going to win like that.
But comes back to win the game, forcing 19 Pitt turnovers today.
Well, I guess you are going to win like that then.
All about defense.
That's right.
24-22 Beavers. Terrence Williams today, another sensational game. Williams from Seattle, Washington.
It's been very encouraging seeing Terrence really explode this year, have some good games. You want to see some good stuff happen to that young man.
Having a great senior year. Again, baseline right. Pondexter will square on this baby. In and out. Look at Brockman rebound. Wallace trying to screen him out. Brockman stays with a play. IT to the end line, but they shut him off. Detman. 3 is good.
Justin Detman for 3.
Yeah, you're going to have to see Friday after this game here. You know, credit UW because they're playing with very good patience on the offensive end. Brockman is just, I mean, he's riding the back of Latham Wallace basically, but doing a good job backing up, tipping it, keeping his hands on it. That's why the guy's one of the best at doing it.
Officials will confer. Our officials tonight, Tony Padilla, Tom Wood, and Gregory Nixon. They're going to take a look at the replay and see where that foot, the right foot of Justin Detman was. Was it on the orange line or was it not?
Hard to tell from that angle. Here we have a better shot here. Good job by Isaiah driving, even though he didn't have anything. It forces Oregon State to collapse, and he looks clear to me from there.
Yeah, pretty good look at that. Three-point play will stand. And so Washington will take the lead at 25-24, 4:45 to go here in the first half. The Huskies 1 of 7 from 3 here tonight. Dentman hitting his first in 3 attempts. Here's Johnson with it outside. Dentman nearly had a rip. Pries it free. Brockman's got it. Dentman releases. One man to beat. Ooh, a 360. I think he was looking for the trailer. Got it to the glass. And then Pondexter takes over from there.
Well, that's why you don't ever want to get in the air to make a pass unless you're going up with it. But it looked pretty, though. I liked it.
Right thing to do. You know, off the glass. Your teammates got a chance. Second chance points 13-6, particularly with these guys board.
Exactly.
Wallace.
And Amari Johnson here has to be aggressive. He's capable of beating John Brockman off the dribble. You got to attack John, hopefully maybe get him in some foul trouble, force him to play defense.
Haynes sweeps the crossover. Schaftenauer got a chip on Thomas to free him for the pick and pop, but he missed the 3. Thomas the other way. Up to shoot, into the lane, scoop, and it won't go, but he's knocked down and fouled. Wow. Look at him go. All right, here we go, Lamar. We got a little bit of defense. Pick it free, and we run.
That's right. UW out in the passing lanes. Justin Dentman up. It doesn't matter. They're going to get the rebound anyway.
Interesting game here tonight in Corvallis. Washington trying to figure that zone out, leading by 3, 27-24.
Well, one guy who's got it figured out so far is Justin Dentman. The seniors come in here, and, you know, he's found times to attack, find times to pass. He's playing a very good job, and it's what you expect of your senior leader, your guard. You know, Dentman's a guy, when he came in as a freshman, he had a pretty good senior leader guard to kind of learn a ropes from. I think we remember playing for the Trailblazers right now. So a great job from Justin getting his team going tonight.
They are going to retire Brandon Roy's number Thursday night at home, Bank of America Arena, before the USC game. Now that will be before the game. We want to make that clear to the fans. Talking to the athletic department tonight, that will be a ceremony. You want to get there early because it's a ceremony that will probably occur 15 minutes before the top of the hour. So around 7:45, 8 o'clock game on Thursday. It will not be at half. It will be before the game. So you want to be a part of that. If you're one of those lucky folks that have a ticket. Here's Thomas. Knocks down the free throw. So the Huskies open up their largest lead. Lamar up 5. 3:35 to go in the first half. Now the Beavers have always come back with an answer. What are they going to have here?
Well, hopefully it's not a 3. They want to get the ball inside the paint, get to the basket, force UW to foul you, send you to the line.
Nice pass, but the Huskies all over that as they converge on Johnson with some length.
But that's the exact shot you want, in the paint, in the paint. You don't want to settle for the 3 now. Give UW a chance to run it out, extend their lead going into the halftime break.
19-7 scoring run for the Huskies. Brockman's going to get a breather, and Ryan Ammoning back in the lineup, along with Gant and Pondexter up front. The 5'10 Mighty Mites, Thomas and Dentman at guards.
Usually when Brockman will go out, there's a sigh of relief, but not the way Manning is playing tonight. I mean, he's a monster in his own right.
Nice take to the rim. Seth Tarver, 6'5", wriggles into the air, and he will go to the line. Good-looking athlete. His older brother Sean Tarver played at UCLA back in the mid-90s.
18 fouls, Seth Tarver.
The Tarver brothers out of Jesuit High School up in Beaverton.
And while they're both juniors, we should clarify they are not twins.
Number 31 for the Huskies.
Pondexter with his 3rd foul as Tarver heads back to the line.
We talked about Seth earlier about how he's a guy that, you know, can very easily get lost in the game. And so it's encouraging to see him come out so aggressive tonight. It's what you always want to see from him, but you don't always get it. So good job from Seth getting off to a good start.
Yeah, he's just a nice-looking athlete. He's got a great basketball body. 6'5", 205.
Basketball, football, you know, you can put him anywhere.
29-25. Huskies by 4. 2:50 to go in the first half. Dentman crowded, gets rid of it to Thomas. He spins out of the trap. Turner back in, outside IT for 3.
Great ball movement from UW.
Well, Dentman and Thomas both have 3s. That will loosen things up a little bit. 7-point lead for Washington. Lamar said don't shoot the 3.
They didn't hear. They don't listen to me, Kev. You know how it is with the young guys.
You gotta get up there and get a little closer. Lean in, whisper next time.
You know, we talked about UW doing a good job being so patient. You know, you drive, you draw, and you kick. And if these guards from UW are making 3s tonight, it's going to be tough for Oregon State to beat them.
Yeah, Washington right now shooting a pretty high percentage. How about 50% on 11 of 22, despite 2 of 8 from 3. And they have a rebounding advantage of 17-5.
Yeah.
Good to see Elston Turner back in the lineup. He's a guy that can shoot it. Carver comes to trap. Along with his brother Josh. They're out there at the top of that zone. Now they've extended the zone. And now there'll be a few more gaps and seams for Washington to exploit, I would think. 16 to shoot. Isaiah way outside. That's as good as a pass, though, to that big fellow. Brian Hammond, but he had it tipped away off his hands, out of bounds.
I'm almost convinced that Manning has magnets on his hands or something, because that ball keeps finding him somehow.
Terrific mitts, good balance. Had a big game against Portland State. He had 23 points, 12 boards.
Well, the best thing for him was when John Brockman got hurt early in the year and he got a chance to step in and really become a solid part of the rotation, and he hasn't looked back since.
John went down for a game with a sprained ankle. Here's Schaftenauer with it. Double. Schaftenauer again, 13 to shoot. And I tell you, Brian Hammond's done a nice job to neutralize number 10.
Yes, he has.
There's Tarver showing some of that athleticism we just talked about. Good-looking Jimmy. 5-point Husky lead.
You see Oregon State extend the pressure a little bit out, full court.
There's the cross-court pass. That sets up Dentman in the seam for 3. Oh, that was buried. Off the back rim. Schaftenauer takes it away. Huskies try to get it back. And a timeout called by Craig Robinson in front of the Oregon State bench. Huskies lead it here by 5. A 30-second timeout. 55 seconds left in the half. Lorenzo Romar's done a terrific job this year of seeing his team progress from that tough loss at earlier in the year when they lost to Kansas. They bounced back, played a better game against Florida, and then they just went on that winning streak that finally was snapped in the tough triple overtime loss at Cal. That can sometimes break a team a little bit, but the way they responded Thursday was just beautiful. The way he got their attention and they came together and came up with a nice road win.
Exactly. Well, it can break a team or it can make a team, and UW has allowed it to help make them into one of those elite level teams. And Lorenzo, he's one of those coaches that allows his players to win games and sometimes lose games. And so, you know, as a player, you can never look back and blame your coach if Lorenzo Romar is your coach. And he's watched his team grow and really start to flourish.
Yeah, Kansas blew him out 73-54, and then things started to happen. 2-point loss to Florida. They seemed to get their legs under them. And they understood their role.
They did.
Particularly Isaiah Thomas.
Exactly.
He really got his game under control.
And that's what you're waiting on. You knew once Isaiah got it down, being the point guard and the general, it'd make this team very dangerous.
All right, Lorenzo going to call a timeout here. He'll use a 30 with 36 seconds remaining. And the Huskies on top 32-27. Big week, obviously, for Mr. Craig Robinson, the new coach of the Oregon State Beavers. 2 years at Brown. In case you don't know, Brown is in the Ivy League. It is in Providence, Rhode Island. University has been around since the mid-1800s. Tomorrow he'll practice here and then travel to Washington, D.C. He played at Princeton. He was also an assistant for, 6 years? Bill Carmody there in Northwestern. Bill was at Princeton as well. On Tuesday at 10, all those inaugural balls, huh? And then traveled to Berkeley to meet the ball club on Wednesday And Thursday, you're playing Mike Montgomery and the Bears, who right now are in a battle at Stanford. Brown, a member of the Ivy League. Tommy Amaker coaching Harvard this year. Already come up with a big win over Boston College. Denton attacking the zone, 12 to shoot. Oh, that is a terrific spin move. And then he collects himself and steps through, huh?
I mean, what can you say about the guy?
Haynes with 4. Thomas with a rebound. He's even going to get a shot off. It sails wide, and that ends the first half. So the Huskies pour it on there in the last minute of play. They take a 7-point lead at 34-27. That's our halftime score. Let's send it down to College Hoops Northwest Studios. Angie Mentink and Francis Williams standing by. Welcome back to Corvallis, Oregon, home of the Oregon State Beavers. The Beavers trail the Washington Huskies 34-27. We're getting set now for the second half of action here at the Ralph Miller Court, along with Lamar Hurd, Kevin Calabro. Thanks for being with us here tonight. Lamar, this was a tight game through the first 10 minutes. The 1-3-1 zone of the Beavers seemed to be bothering the Huskies, but then Washington adapted as good ball clubs will, and they pulled out ahead.
Well, like you said, as good ball clubs will, and not only good ball clubs, but good coaches. You know, Oregon State threw the 1-3-1 out early on. It took UW some time to adapt, but they certainly did. And Oregon State's a team that came out aggressive. You know, they came out firing, hitting a few shots. But there's a phrase, Kevin, live by the 3, die by the 3. And Oregon State was alive early on, but UW really started to tighten it up on the defensive end. And they have just been rebounding the ball like crazy, which is what they do. Credit Brian Manning for all his rebounds. You see Justin Denton can come down. He figures I can throw whatever I want because I know somebody's going to come in and tip it in, which has been the case. And Brockman hasn't even gotten going yet, like we know he's capable of. He's been doing a good job, but really hasn't done what we know he's capable of doing.
Look at the rebound advantage, 21-7. That pretty well says it all. 10 offensive rebounds, points in the paint, 18-10 advantage. Doing very well at handling the ball. 6 turnovers to the Huskies. Meantime, Oregon State hanging in at 40% shooting. But this man, Rulon Schaftenauer, has yet to get anything going offensively. And he is kind of the linchpin. He's the center of the offense for Oregon State.
Boy, and you got to credit Darnell Gant for that. He's done a good job taking Rulon out of the game tonight.
There's Schaftenauer at the rim, but he is met every time he goes airborne by the long arms. That time it was Darnell Gant with a block. Wallace hits another 3.
If you're Oregon State, you don't mind trading that 2 for 3. Good job, even though Rulon got blocked, to stay with it and keep the ball alive.
Huskies went on an 18-8 run in the last 9 minutes of that first half to pull out to the 7-point lead. Trimmed to 4 now. Here's Detman. Now Pondexter handling. Nice pass to Thomas, brings it back the other way, but the defense recovers. Dentman, hand in his face by Wallace. Undeterred, Justin Dentman, the senior from Carbondale.
And that shows,
but not net on that one.
I'm sorry about the cap. That shows some of the maturity from Isaiah Thomas. That's a shot early in the season he might have jacked up. Did a good job drawing in the lane, kicking to Justin Dentman for the more open shot.
And Dentman's 4 of 8 now. Wallace has another 3 in his sights. Nice rebound by Dean. Brockman stonewalls him, and Dean casts this one over the rim and out of bounds. Let's go down to the court. Jen Mueller.
Hey, Kevin, in talking to Beavers head coach Craig Robinson at halftime, he acknowledged that the Beavers had done an okay job of deterring the Dogs from running their up-tempo style of offense, but said to continue that in the second half, they're going to have to do a better job of getting better on defense. He also wants to see better offensive execution. As for the Dogs, Lorenzo Romar called his team a little trigger-happy from long range in the first half and told him that he wants to see them work the ball inside more for those better shots. So look for those big bodies banging inside, guys.
Dean for 3, off the mark, and the rebound recovered by Pondexter. Lamar, you played for J. John, the the coach who departed and now is on the staff at Cal. When Robinson, of course, took over this year, there was a lot of relearning to do, I bet. Is that a difficult proposition for these players, playing the 1-3-1 zone, playing the Princeton offense, or did they do some of that?
You know, they're basketball players, so whether they've done much of it or not, which they really didn't do, you catch on to things. You know, you're at the college level. It shouldn't take you too long to catch on to things, and fortunately for Oregon State and Craig Robinson, these guys have picked up on stuff a little sooner than he expected.
Well, there's a guy I think we both agree could be a terrific player if he looks to score. That is Seth Tarver taking it to the rim with authority. Look at this.
Well, again, Kevin, we talked about the fact that Seth can get any shot he wants whenever he wants. He's just that physical of a specimen. So credit him for continuing to drive.
Seth 4 of 5. 10 points, 3 assists. Has had a very nice floor game against the free throw. 5-point Husky lead, 38-33. Pac-10 standings up for grabs. First place up for grabs. And the Huskies very much in the hunt. Cross-court pass to Thomas. Again, brings it back to Dentman. Open for the three, and those two guards really clicking.
They're clicking. You know, they're getting it. And again, credit Isaiah Thomas for passing up on a shot. He would have shot 10 games ago, but now he's really learning. And once these guards click, it makes UW very difficult to beat.
Schaftenauer out of the double team to Dean, but in his haste to get there, walks with the basketball.
Isaiah Thomas is a guard that's more than capable of scoring the basketball himself. You know, he's averaging double digits, but he's learning now when to shoot, when to pass.
Huskies have come out on fire. They've hit 3 for 3. Take an 8-point lead. Nice pass. Dentman inside to Brockman at the post and laid it in.
So tell me this, when you got Dentman going and Thomas going, and then Brockman going.
Climbing into the air. There's Johnson taking it to the rim strong.
And that's what Omari has to do. We talked about it in the first half. He has to force these UW big guys to play defense and tire them out.
Cross-court pass. Thomas gets a piece. Redirects it to Gant. Gets it back. Cross-court bouncer. Setting up Dentman for 3. Gant the rebound. Thomas re-racks. Bang, down it goes. Oh, that is just murder right there.
Has there been a missed shot that Brian Amening has not gotten? I mean, really, I don't remember.
He's got 8 boards. Here's Tarver with it now. Left side, Johnson. Schaftenauer going left. Nice move, getting down the lane.
And Craig Robinson's going to change his defense up a little bit. He's going to move his defense back to a 2-3, get him out of the 1-3-1. Hopefully it helps with the rebounding a little bit.
Trailing by 9. So now what will the Huskies do with 22 to shoot? How will they adapt?
They're going to keep doing what they're doing. Attacking, drawing, and kicking.
Dentman finds a seam and feeds Brockman inside again. So first it was Thomas that got into a seam. Now it's Dentman who squirts in there and gets the nice pass.
Well, it's a different defense, but the formula is the same. Drive, draw, kick. In a zone, you want to force 2 people to guard you, which is what UW is doing.
And then find the open man. 11-point lead. Great pass. Better catch. Thomas wriggles into the air, sidelines, and lays it in. Oh, IT hovering at the rim. How about that?
Isaiah getting loose a little bit. Craig Robinson wants to put a stop to that.
50-37 count, and Washington breaks open to a double-digit lead, up 13. Watch this bit of magic up the floor.
Well, Isaiah's one of those guards, and when he gets an open court, you might as well put 2 points on the board. That left hand, he's so creative, twisting it up and in.
Welcome back, everybody. It's a tractor race. What that is, that only means trouble. Pac-10 tonight. Scores. Arizona State overtime over UCLA 61-58. Hardin had another good game. So did Pendergraft. They combined for 42. Oregon beaten by Washington State 74-62. Taylor Rochester a career high 30 points. And the Ducks sinking 75-69. Stanford. That's a good ball club that lost to the Huskies by 1. Stanford led by Lawrence Hill, 25 points tonight, and the return of Mike Montgomery to Stanford. So with Cal losing, they go to 4-1. With UCLA losing, they go to 4-1 in conference. And the Huskies have 15 minutes and change with a 13-point lead to realize their 5th victory of the year in the Pac-10. Got to maintain focus. They've done a pretty nice job of doing that, being very patient in stages of this game.
They have, and we talked about that being part of their evolution as an elite level team, coming out taking every game serious. And that's exactly what they're doing right now.
Thank you, Brian Amity, bringing some love at the cup. 52-38, 14-point lead, largest lead of the game. Points in the paint, 26-16. Advantage for Washington. Wallace, nice move to the middle. Hooks it up and in. Oregon State has some pieces. They've got some nice players here. Give them some time. It'll happen.
They do have pieces, and they'll continue to add. Got 3 good guys coming in next year. You know, but it takes time. Any transition does.
Brian Amity, look at the footwork. Lamar, the nice rock, and it's set up the left hand.
To the left, Cap.
Right,
to the left.
Use the offhand.
It's an on hand for him. You don't have offhand.
Huskies by 14. 14-14 left here in the second half.
You see you Amity catch it and just take his time and say, I'm going to take you here and take you there and dance with you over here and right to the left.
London England grew up playing soccer, football. Tipped away. Thomas recovers. 22 to shoot. Going Overton back in the lineup. Look at the drive and the kick. Pondexter, the one dribble, leaning back, got a little more real estate and laid it in.
You're seeing UW move at a different speed, a different pace, and it's because they've been getting some baskets, and that always ups your defensive effort whenever you're able to score.
Wallace takes it into the defense. Tipped away. Brockman recovers. Benoit in 5th gear, all the way to the cup to lay it up and in, threading his way through the Beaver defense.
You see now on the other end, Oregon State, who's not scoring, is just not very motivated to play defense, and that can't be the way it is. You got to always play defense.
Shaftenauer really laboring out there, and that's good news for the Huskies. That allows Matthew Brian Amity to do just about anything he wants, bouncing around the floor. And they may come to get Shaftenauer here in a moment.
Benoit Overton, he's been UW's energy guy all season, and you want to see him be more aggressive on offense. That drive is something he's capable of doing, always in open court. And, you know, he should explore a little more. Maybe he doesn't end up shooting the ball, but he has to use his ability, his quickness, his speed to get into the paint as much as possible.
Johnson on the inbound. Jump stops, and he walked with the ball, but was able to get a shot off over Matthew Brian Amity and a foul, so the bucket counts. And maybe he did walk. It just looked like an awkward move as he kind of struggled to step through. Watch it again. Stop. Yeah, pivot foot was there. You know, once every game, Lamar, I got to question the officials. Just, you know, keep my edge.
There you go. There you go. You got to make sure they're ready to go.
Look at that pass ahead to Brockman. Makes a great catch in the open court to lay it in.
And now they're just clicking. They're clicking on all cylinders right now.
John Brockman's hit 5 of 6, 12 points, 8 boards tonight. 18-point Husky lead, running away. 12:52 remaining.
And Kev, we talked about it early in the pregame, how Oregon State was going to respond to this pressure from UW, and UW's done a tremendous job taking them out of their offense, and they've looked pretty discombobulated all game.
I'm just so impressed with the way the Huskies focused and were disciplined tonight, not looking past the Beavers at all. Now looking to just put them away in the issue. They keep making that extra pass, and the footwork from Matthew Brian Amity off the mark, but Pondexter found it, laid it in, but he walked on the inline as he made that pivot move. But the bench loves that.
Yeah, you don't mind that because you see the energy, you see the effort, and like I said, they're clicking on all cylinders right now. Oregon State, what has to happen now is somebody has to rise as that leader and say, hey, look, fellas, despite the fact that nothing's going good for us right now, we're still going to play hard. We're going to play defense each play. We're still going to box out. And you're not seeing that right now.
Josh Tarver with it. Trying to set up Dentman on the screen. Nice cut by Wallace. Again takes it to the rack, but Brockman stands his ground. Benoit on the push. sophomore from Los Angeles. Brockman inside. Holiday went up with a left hand. He was just going to square it to the cup. Off the mark. Wallace didn't have many options. He's going to have to take a 6'9" defender inside. And he spun around and knocked down. Vanoy the other way. There's Overton with a nice jump stop. Missed it, but that just allows Brockman.
Exactly. It allows Brockman. That's what you want to see from Vanoy, pushing, because even if you miss it, your teammate may get it.
Timeout called, and Brockman out 14 points, 8 boards to lead the way. There are 4 other Huskies in double figures. Dentman with 12, each with 10. Thomas, Brian Ammoning, and Pondexter balance scoring.
It's a complete team effort tonight. And, you know, we talked about it, Kevin. When UW has everybody involved like this, they are one of those elite level teams in the conference. Again, a missed shot, they're getting a rebound. And like you mentioned, they came out focused tonight. They didn't overlook this game, and it's showing right now. No,
they were very focused in the layup line.
Yeah.
Taking shots. You know, there was no clowning around.
Yeah.
I will tell you this, though. In a moment, let's do this bit of business. Pac-10 continues next Thursday on FSM with doubleheader action. The Washington State Cougars host the 9th-ranked UCLA Bruins. Plus, the Huskies take on the USC Trojans. Coverage tips off at 5:30 p.m. on FSM. Beavers with the handle. With it is Ricky Clapp. 14 to shoot. Haynes will raise. In and out. Brockman seals off Dean, and that allows Matthew Brian Ammoning the rebound. Vanoy Overton. Why not?
And that's what we're talking about with Vanoy. He has to explore those kind of shots. You know, quite frankly, when UW is playing like this and everybody's involved, they're a pretty scary team. So if they can keep this going, they could have a special run here in the Pac-10 season.
Thursday night's going to be special. Retiring number 3, Brandon Roy's number. 8 o'clock tip. The ceremony begins before the ball game. It's important to know that. You don't want to miss the ceremony.
You have tickets?
I do not. I'm going to have to reach out to somebody. Here's Dean, number 3. I'll trade him Sonics tickets for... Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, sorry. You went there.
I shouldn't have done that. 14-point Husky lead. 10:07 to go in the ball game. Holiday anticipates and steals. Brian Ammoning with it. Back and deep. Nice up and under. Second, third effort. Holiday with it. Overton to Dentman. Look at him play out there. Wow. Oh, Ammoning just showed it all. Oh, don't lay it all out there. You got to say, leave something in the closet.
I mean, you gonna do it like that?
Come on now. You got to leave something in the closet. Don't wear it all out here. Wow.
You know, he's just feeling himself right now. Hey, you can't blame him.
66-42 count with 9:26 left. And I tell you, the Beavers made it a game for the first 10 minutes, but it's been the Huskies in super overdrive right now down here in Corvallis.
Welcome back to Corvallis, Oregon. Vanoy Overton showing off some moves, taking it all the way to the rack, helping the Dogs to a 66-42 lead over the Beavers. You know, Vanoy showing off some nice footworks there, and I think he's got a ballet teacher to thank for that. Vanoy Overton and Darnell Gant were part of a ballet class that they took last semester, and both of them said, you know, their moves might not have been so great on the court, but it actually did help them when it came to balance on the basketball court, because they had to use that core strength and really put all those moves together, although I think everybody will admit that their moves look so much better when they're on the court. Now, Lamar, I know that KC keeps you on your toes over there. Does that mean that we're going to see you in a ballet class so you can keep up?
Jen, I can give you a little two-step. I might walk it out on you a little bit, but, you know, I can't do too much. We're calling the game right now, Jen.
You know what they're really doing? They're meeting chicks is what they're doing.
Exactly.
Come on now.
Exactly.
9 minutes left. Overton Inside to Matthew Bryan Ammoning, and the follow by John Brockman. Under control. Actually, it's Artem Wallace getting in the mix. He snuck into the lineup on me, and it was Wallace to tip it up and in. Good control tip. The big man from Toledo, Washington. Carver knocks down the jumper, and there he is again. He's quietly just had a real nice game.
He has, and you get a basket, and here's where you got to step up your defense and get something going. Get some energy. You need the crowd going. It's really died down since the start of the game.
Holiday, cross-court pass, Dentman for three. Wallace steps out again, and Dentman will take it up. Foul called inside of the push. This will work against the Beavers. Schaftenauer with the foul. Schaftenauer had 18 in the win over USC. 6 assists against the Trojans. Played 40 minutes, had 3 steals. He did it all, including hitting a 3 at the buzzer in regulation to send it into overtime. And we talked before the game tonight to Lorenzo Romar. He said, we have to neutralize him if we're going to get into their offense.
Exactly. Lorenzo Romar is not crazy. He wants to come win this game. He knows the stats Rule and Schaftenauer had against USC, and he doesn't want the same thing happening to his team. So he's got Darnell Gant, John Brockman, those guys to totally take Rulin out of the game tonight.
Denman missing the free throw. Huskies at that last time out were shooting 15 of 20 from the field. Here's Haynes elevating. Haynes knocks down a deep 2.
And credit to UW guards, because Calvin Haynes, who's the Beavers' leading scorer, just made his first basket.
Yeah, averaging 15 a game coming in. Holiday looking for the big man inside. A few turnovers the Huskies have had here in the second half. Holiday went up, and he fell, and then Overton crashes over him. Offensive foul called on the Beavers. John Tarver. And a timeout on the court with 7:49 remaining here in Corvallis. It's all Huskies right now. Washington 69, Oregon State 46. College Hoops on FSN, brought to you by Sterling Savings, the perfect fit bank, and by the Emerald Queen Hotel and Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest. Huskies on top 69-46. 7:49 remaining in this one. And now let's take a look at our Jack in the Box outside the box.
Well, UW's been aggressive all night on the offensive and defensive end. They came in leading the conference in offensive rebounds, and you just seen it tonight. You know, we joked about whether or not Bryan Ammoning has magnets on his hands because he's getting every rebound.
Huskies with a 34-15 rebound advantage, 15 offensive rebounds. And your man, Matthew Bryan Ammoning, has 9 boards to lead the Huskies. Brockman matches him actually with 9. Brockman leading the way, 16 points for the Huskies in double figures. Pondexter gets another bucket. And Quincy's got a dozen.
Is it just me, or does it seem like Brockman's been rather quiet tonight? Maybe it's because Ammoning had such a good game. But you look at that, Brockman, who hasn't had a loud 16 points, still has 16 points.
Yeah, a very efficient game.
Exactly, and that's what makes his team so special.
He's logged in 25 minutes, 16 points, 9 boards, 3 in the offense, 2 of 2 from the line. And he's only missed 1 field goal, 7 of 8. All business.
Husky foul number 15, Scott Suggs. His first.
I was talking earlier about the Huskies as a team. Let's go down to Jed Mueller. Jed, we ran into him in the hotel this afternoon when we got in, and they were wearing glasses. It was a sunny day, but all of them had this really crazy pair of sunglasses on. What was that all about?
Well, they went to go see a movie yesterday, and I'm a little bit behind on my movie knowledge, but I think Lamar Hurd knows. What's that 3D horror flick that everybody's into these days?
Hey, Jen, I don't do scary movies, so you asking the wrong person. I'm not ashamed to admit it either.
He's afraid of snakes.
That was a team bonding moment, but I did find out that not all of them went to go see that one. That's the one, the Valentine, you know, the horror one. Some of them went to go see Gran Torino yesterday, but then I heard that they actually went to shoot around, and Justin Dentman was trying to dunk with his on today, guys.
with the 3D glasses.
That's
on.
what I heard.
Very nice.
Yeah, had I gone to a scary movie, I would have wore glasses too, so I couldn't see anything.
And by the way, we need a breakdown on that movie Friday you referred to in the first.
Now, are you serious?
I'm serious, man. I mean, I've been protected, I guess.
Debo, Smokey. None of them. You don't know any of them, Kev?
Ice Cube.
Ice Cube, exactly. See, now it's starting to come back a little.
71-48 count. Huskies, 6:53 left. Pondexter. This is Scott Suggs. He's a good-looking freshman, true freshman. At a nearby St. Louis, Missouri. He was the Missouri Player of the Year last year. And this bucket's going to count for Quincy Pondexter, stepping back up to the line. Foul on Amari Johnson. Dean will come back into the Beavers.
And UW has just broken the spirit of all the Oregon State players. The guys on the court, on the bench. I mean, you're starting to see heads drop a little bit, and that's the thing you can't see. If you want any chance at winning, you got to be competitive. You got to be positive the whole way throughout, no matter what's going on.
Q knocks down the free throw. The junior from Fresno has had a nice evening tonight.
Pondexter, he's been kind of that X factor for UW a lot of games.
Yes.
When he plays well, usually the rest of the team plays well.
(74-48). Huskies trying to close in on their 5th Pac-10 victory. With a win here, they can really make things interesting in the standings of the Pac-10. Cal losing today, or just this evening, to Stanford. And Arizona State defeats UCLA earlier today in overtime. McShane will turn in the lane. And he will miss the shot, but tie up Pondexter. Kevin McShane is a 6'9" youngster from Clackamas, Oregon.
You know, Kevin, in my experiences against UW, you learn that in order to beat them and be competitive with them, sometimes you have to veer away from your offense and just make plays, you know, because they do such a good job taking you out of it. And that's the thing Oregon State has failed to do tonight.
Artem Wallace swings it left side. This is Suggs, and Pondexter's held off the ball by McShane. 6th Beaver foul. Tarver comes back in now. Josh Tarver for the Beavers. Greg Robinson coming out of the Princeton program. Where he played for Pete Carrill. Carrill won a few games, 514 wins, 13 Ivy League titles. It's interesting, Lorenzo Romar referred today to the fact that Princeton, he of course was an assistant on the bench there at UCLA. Cameron Dollar was playing at the time. The year after UCLA had won the championship, they get to the tournament, and wouldn't you know, they match up against Princeton. Princeton beats them, the defending champions, 43-41. And that came just a week after Pete Carrill had announced his retirement. And Lorenzo remembered that.
Yeah, of course you remember that. It's one of those bad memories. But like you said, you know, Craig Robinson comes from that program, and you really see it. If you ever talk to the guy, you can just tell how smart he is and how well he understands the game, the fundamentals, and that type of thing. I mean, he's just one of those guys. He can talk to you, Kevin, and draw up a play for you, telling you to give the ball to the other team, and he'll make it in a way that you may think that's the right play to make. He just kind of, he has that ability about him, and he has those kind of smarts.
Overton turns it over, trying to get to the rim with a crossover. And so Oregon State will take over. We mentioned the efficiency of the Huskies tonight. How about just 7 turns?
That usually results in wins.
And they're holding Oregon State to 48 points here this evening. Washington's got a very nice job on balance this year defending the basketball. Haynes for 3. Yep. Haynes just kind of lets his shoulders sag and his arms to the side, wondering probably where was that in the first half.
Well, you can't be thinking that right now. You know, like we just talked about, their spirit is broken, and you can't be competitive with a broken spirit.
75-51 Huskies. 4:55 remaining. Elston Turner back in the lineup after a long absence. Turned an ankle a minute into his playing time against Morgan State, so tonight has been his first activity. He's got a brace on that left ankle. You can see it here. Lorenzo Romar told us before the game tonight he has a little bit of discomfort making those sudden shifts, lateral shifts. So Suggs is out there. Now Joe Wolfinger steps into the lineup. Joe from Portland, Oregon. 7 feet and 255. McShane cautiously dribble handoff to Haynes and will lean into another three.
And all game long, UW's done a terrific job of keeping that ball out of the paint, forcing Oregon State to rely on jumpers. And again, you live by the three and you die by it. And you're not very alive right now.
Suggs showing a nice move to the middle with the left hand and then the pull-up jumper mid-range. Huskies in the zone. Thursday night they return home to take on the Trojans, USC. And then Saturday it's UCLA coming to town. 8 o'clock start on Thursday. And the Trojans are in town and the Huskies will be retiring Brandon Roy's number. The ceremony to be held before the game, before the 8 o'clock tip. Here's Haynes. Got it from three. They don't have an exact time yet. I was told it would be approximately 15 minutes before the start. So you'll want to get there early.
Just get there early. You don't have much to worry about.
Good atmosphere down there. It's a nice place. They've done a terrific job at rehabilitating that place over the years.